Test 1, 2. Yeah,
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tennessee football. I'm not. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tennessee Football Alliance first round of the playoffs. We're getting ready for kickoff at tonight's game, or the first game. We have the Nashville Raiders taking on the Clarksville Rattlers. Both teams, if I'm not mistaken, ended the regular season on a victory, and they're looking to continue that winning streak. Yeah. Okay. We are currently partnering with the refs to make sure we got everything to have a smooth game tonight. Hopefully the weather, after a pretty stormy start to the day, hopefully smooths out. We are getting ready for kickoff. Rattlers send out captain number 6, number 2, and number 50. The Raiders send their captains to the field as well. The Rattlers in the inaugural 2018 TFA season, I believe, have set records as an organization regarding wins and success. They're looking to build on it to get a playoff win tonight and advance to play the Bulldogs next weekend. The Raiders, if I'm not mistaken as well, is a first-year organization. They are looking for the same opportunity to play the number 1 seed, the Bulldogs, who have not lost this season. If I'm not mistaken, I've only lost one game, and that was the national championship game. Other than that, they've won 23 straight games, tied once, lost once. Shout out to Jeremy Daves for recording the game we're about to watch this evening. Both actually followed up after this match. We have the Louisville Piranhas, who finished the season 3-4, and the Tennessee Fury, who also 3-4. That was a very tight division. I believe everyone who made the playoffs did have a final record of 3 wins to 4 losses. We're currently at midfield, waiting for the coin flip. The flip is up. It does appear as if the Rattlers are the home team and the Raiders are the road team. It looks like
the coin toss, defer to the second half.
The Rattlers have won the Rattlers have won the coin toss. They defer to the second half, so they will kick off to the Raiders. I believe it was week 6. The Rattlers made the road trip to Louisville. Had a very strong special teams, kicking. I want to say 3 touchbacks, which at the semi-pro level is a rare camaraderie and something that I think could prove beneficial here in the playoffs.
Hey, where's my rosters, bro?
The Raiders send 2 back deep.
Hey, Ricky! Ricky. Where my rosters at? Where my rosters at? Man.
37 set to kickoff.
I gotta go find the message. Number 37, Justin Ignacio, set the kickoff for the Rattlers. Ball on the 35-yard line.
.37 with the kick. Looks like a medium gain. Set at the 30. Number 4 cuts to the left, cuts up the middle, makes a man miss, and is tackled around about the 45.
Taken down at the 47-yard line.
Looks like the Raiders are set to take over on offense.
Raiders come out on offense. 3 receiver set. Number 5, Cliplet on the center.
Raiders come out in a pistol set, fullback and running back in the back. Number 5 takes a snap, handoff up the middle. Number 7 makes the man miss, takes a gain of about 10, maybe more. Actually gaining more. I'm not sure quite where he went out. And he does look like he gains about 15 for a first down. As we tick into our 12-minute quarters here, we are 11 minutes and 45 seconds as the Raiders pick up a first down. Looks like number 7 was pushed out of bounds. The Raiders break the huddle. 2 receivers coming to the right, 1 to the left. 2 back set.
2 back.
Number 5 still in the pistol. Ball snapped. Play action. Rose to the right. Pump fakes a little bit. Makes a man miss. Checks it down, and it is caught for about a gain of 8.
7-yard reception. Number 2, Quez Clark.
Looks like it goes to number 22 there. Second and 3 coming up. Raiders found a spark a couple weeks ago when they put number 5 at the quarterback position. I believe he put up 5 touchdowns against the Dixon Chaos. They're now facing a 2nd and 3. 2 receivers to the right, number 8 to the left. 5 in the backfield, number 7 and number 6 in a pistol formation. Number 5 scopes the field out. Takes a snap, quick little play action, pumps, Rose to the left, sets his feet, has a man, but looks like the Rattlers is able to make a play, and some friendly fire by the Rattlers secondary, and we'll bring up a incomplete pass, 3rd down and 3.
Brings up 3rd and 3.
The Rattlers looking to get a stop. This I would go out on a limb and say this would be 2-down territory. 2 receivers to the right, number 22 and number 84. 8 to the left. Number 5 getting ready for the snap. Handoff up the middle to number 4. Makes a couple people miss. After a nice kickoff return to start the game, he has about a pickup of 8 for the first down.
16-yard line.
We are just under the 10-minute mark. Score 0-0 here in the first quarter. Nashville Raiders are on the move. Really have been able to do pretty much anything they want except for Raiders come back out. Looks like 2 receivers to the right. 84 on the outside. 22 has moved to slot. Number 5 drops back. Pump fakes to number 8. Looks like it's an out and up. Rows out. Point directing traffic. Has 6 open. Checks down to 8. And they are calling it complete for a gain of about 9. That was a very solid catch. The Rattlers having their back against the wall. Will be looking to come up with a stop. Second and about a short 2 on the 5-yard line. The Raiders come out. Same 2 receivers to the right. Number 8 to the left. Number 4 at the running back. 6 at the fullback. And number 5 in pistol at the quarterback position. Number 5 scans the field. Takes the snap. Looks like a option to the left. Some big blocks. But it looks like it has ran out of bounds for a minimum gain. Not sure if quite enough for the first down. The refs are looking to ref signals 3rd down. Brings up 3rd and a long 1.
3rd and 1, Raiders.
This will most certainly be 4-down territory. The Rattlers are looking for a stop here, something that they have not been able to do against the Raiders. Number 22 back out to the deep side of the field. 84 in slot. I formation up the middle to number 6. He is a bulldozer who will not be denied. He has obviously picked up the first down and will get a touchdown. Touchdown Raiders. Number 6. My partner in the booth said the Dodge Caravan. Trustworthy and will not be stopped. At 8:25 left in the first quarter, he puts the Raiders on the board with a 6-0 lead. The Raiders prepare to go for the 2-point conversion. Look to add upon this early lead. They was really just able to march down the field, only facing 1 3rd down. Number 7 in at running back, 5 at quarterback, 4 in the backfield as well. Still 2 wide receiver. To the right, another looks like a rollout and a bad pass to the left. And that will be a no good on the conversion. 8 minutes and 16 seconds left in the first quarter. Nashville Raiders 6, Clarksville Rattlers 0. The Rattlers looking to answer back. This is a Raiders defense that has been solid all year, and that's not something you want to be facing a large deficit going into. The Rattlers with number 82 and number 8 set back deep to return this kickoff. We'd like to remind you to stay with us after this game. We have our second playoff game of the day. We'll have Louisville Piranhas taking on the Nashville Fury. In both divisions or conferences, you have a bye week, or 2 teams on a bye week. You have the Bulldogs, who are undefeated. So they will await the winner of this game. And the Dixon Chaos will await the winner of the game we have up after this. The Raiders set to kick off after their opening drive. Number 29 to hold the kickoff. The ball is kicked. It is a short but high kick. Will hit the ground and land. That a fumble. That is a perk of the short kick, but it looks like no one's able to come up with it yet. Raiders signaling they have it. The refs will sort this out. You have a bit of a scuffle, and they say it's Raiders football. A short kick that would have undoubtedly set up Rattlers in great field position. Actually ended up in a turnover and resulted nicely for the Raiders. The Raiders will look to add to this early lead. Raiders look to start off here at the 35. I already have a 6-0 lead, just a little over 8 minutes left in the first quarter. They were able to move down the field last time with ease. Let's see if the Rattlers can stiffen up on defense and get a stop here. First down, 2 receivers to the right, number 22, number 84, number 8 to the left. With number 5 is the quarterback, takes the snap a little low, rolls to the right, has his man, but is overthrown. That will bring up a 2nd and 10, intended to target number 22. Looks like he may have had what he wanted, just a little overthrown there. Brings up 2nd and 10. As we stated, the Raiders have had a stout defense all season. And then several weeks ago, were able to put up quite a few points when they made the quarterback change. If they could get both sides of the ball clicking, I could easily see them, hanging in and making a run at the number 1 seed Middle Tennessee Bulldogs if they can get through this game. Number 7 with the snap. Goes over the middle. Good catch by number 8. Makes a couple people miss. Still keeps going. Breaking more tackles. Spinning out of another one and fighting. Will not give up. Slung down at the 1-yard line. Looks like a gain of about 34. Great catch and run. Pass was very on target by number 5, and number 8 did the rest of the work. And after making several tacklers miss, is slung down at, looks like they'll put him down about the 1.5-yard line. Would not be surprised to see them go back to number 6, a.k.a. the Dodge Caravan. Do not pull a Seattle Seahawk here when you have a proven camaraderie. I've seen several games where he cannot be stopped in this area. Many would call this the green zone because it's been money for him. Number 5 takes the snap. Actually, number 4 makes a couple people miss. Will not be enough, it looks like. We'll call it down. Bring up 2nd and go. This is actually one of the tougher areas to be in if you're the offense because you have limited space. The out of bounds actually turns into a defender for the Rattlers. Let's see what they decide to go. Looks like they might bring in some more beef here. A little change on the offensive line. Number 6 still at fullback. Number 7 in the backfield with 22, 84 lined up on the right and number 8 on the left. Number 5 still in pistol. Looks like it might have will be offsides on the Rattlers, which will move them a little closer. Actually, not too much wrong with that eagerness by the Rattlers. You give up half the distance within this area is not much. And, if you can stop them at 1 foot, you might be able to stop them at 18 inches. So it's all right to be a little eager there if you're the defense. Ball snap, number 6. Here goes the Caravan. And he's actually stopped. Looks like the Rattlers were ready for him. He is helped up here by his team members. Brings up a 3rd and go. We are at approaching 5:45 in the first. A recap on the score. Number 6 pounded it in for the Raiders to take a 6-0 lead. Number 6, Antoine Kelly with the touchdown previously here. Looks like another rollout. Number 5 actually will throw and is intercepted by the Rattlers off a questionable play. Looked like it was just a throwaway by number 5, but is actually an interception and will stop the Rattlers from scoring.
Taken out at around the 47-yard line. Questionable decision by quarterback Cliff Gillette.
Looked like it would have been just kind of a throwaway by Let, number 5. But a smart heads-up play by the Rattlers, grabbed an interception and flipped field position. So now the Rattlers will take over about where they would have had the ball had they filled that kickoff earlier. So no harm, no foul on the turnover there other than a few minutes run off the clock. But that has to be a huge ego boost and motivation for the defense who got to stop there after the Raiders were pretty much doing what they like up and down the field on the last 2 drives. The Rattlers are set to take their first offensive drive of the game. Looks like they're in a wishbone set. 2 receivers on the outside, fullback with 2 running backs in the back. Ball snap. Looked like it might have been a fumble, but makes the most of it. A halfback pass has a man wide open, but it is overthrown. Way to come out of the gate. That is a way to way to come out of the gate firing. Had there just been a little bit more air on the ball. Number 4, I believe he played quarterback when they played the Piranhas. He had a great game, 2 rushing touchdowns. Rattlers back out in more of a conventional spread formation. 2 receivers to each side, running back in the backfield. 22 tightens up the formation a little bit. Ball snap, a little low snap, number 4, making some people miss, tries to get rid of it, but it's stopped and will be brought down for about a loss of 8 and will bring up a 3rd and long. This is playoff football, and you have to make the most out of every opportunity. That was a clear touchdown on that first down if we could have just made that connection. 4.5 minutes in the first. Rattlers back out in a spread offense, 2 receivers to each side, checking the play band, getting the play for this very important 3rd and long. Another lob snap to number 4. Throws a screen to number 2, but it will be for, if anything, maybe a yard of flag on the play. Not sure exactly what that might be yet. It looks like the Rattlers may catch a break. Could have been a personal foul, roughing the passer on the Raiders, and it is. It will be a free 15 and an automatic first down.
15 yards, first down ring.
Saved by that. Those playoff emotions might be getting the best of them here early. The defense is their first actual drive. Rattlers coming out in once again, the spread, 2 receivers to each side, running back in the back, number 4 and number 2 in the backfield. Raiders showing a 4-man front. 2 safeties, number 7 at linebacker. Refs trying to get everything sorted out. A little over 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Raiders 6, Rattlers nothing. I think depending on how this game goes out, they may look back on that missed opportunity on first down. Number 8 goes in motion, left to right. Brings up trips to the right. 1 high safety for the Raiders. 21 drops back at the ball snap. Number 4, a low snap, looking for a place to go. Makes a few people miss. Has hope. Throws it to number 2 that found some room. Makes a couple people miss and picks up a first down. Gain of about 20, actually. Or maybe 18. Either way, we'll bring up a first down, and the Rattlers make the most of their second chance they've been given by the personal foul on the Raiders. If the Rattlers can capitalize on this drive and put some points on the board, that'll remove the bad taste of the mouth of the missed opportunity on the first play. 1st and 10, approaching 3 minutes in the first quarter. Number 4 takes a snap, looks around, throws to the right, a little high, and that is a very catchable ball for number 82. I think that may go down as a drop. We'll bring up second down on an incomplete pass. Rattlers back out in their 2 receivers to each side. 4-man front for the Raiders. Number 4 with another low snap, but a handoff to number 2. Makes a couple people miss. Gets hit hard by number 95, but after a gain of 5. And we'll move it to a manageable third down. It looks like we may have a player down for the Rattlers, or he might just be a little shaken up. He does appear to be getting up slowly. Hope that man is all right.
About 25 you, man. Even if they came down, 25 you first possession and walked the ball down the field. This is YouTube Live, by the way. That's good. That's right.
We'd like to thank our viewers for tuning in. Hope you stay with us the duration of the game. The Raiders, if you're a fan of offense, the Raiders have been making their way up and down the field, and the Rattlers showed you they are not afraid to pull some tricks out of the bag. So we might be in for a great game, even though we had a rough start. But Rattlers look like they have not let that deter them, and they are on the move. We have a little under 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Raiders 6, Rattlers 0.
Yeah, but you can hear that leak out with Weirdo. Man, you doing all that for a clip. I don't even need it. They could have had time. That's why I work.
The Rattlers player is still down. I hope everything is okay. This is definitely not something that you want to see. We all have to continue and go to work on Monday.
That's Brandon, bro.
So we're once again here at the Tennessee Football Alliance first round of the playoffs. We have the Nashville Raiders versus the Clarksville Rattlers, and then coming up next we have the Louisville Piranhas taking on the Nashville Fury. I would like to apologize in advance if I slip up and say the Oakland Raiders. They look very much like them, and I don't want to make that mistake. Looks like he is able to come off the field a little gingerly, but hopefully he's okay. Maybe able to throw a little tape on there and be able to get back out there. Is playoff football. This is why we all play, and an opportunity to move on and win the first championship of the Tennessee Football Alliance. The Rattlers back on a third down and 5. This would be definitely 4-down territory. Rattlers looking to tie it up. 2 receivers to each side. Number 4 and number 6 in the backfield. Number 4 at quarterback. Getting ready for take the snap in the shotgun formation. Oh. Two minutes and 45 seconds in the first quarter. Low snap, but he makes the most of it. Rolling to the right, finds somebody. Oh, a high pass, but great catch by number 15. Makes the man miss, makes another man miss. Will make a third man miss, gets a little careless with the ball, but it looks like he's down. And that is a great play by number 15. And a gain of about 20 or so. We'll pick up a first and go on about the 2-yard line. Great play, great pass, great catch. And the Rattlers are moving. Two receivers to each side. Number 22 and number 84 to the left. Number 6 in the backfield. Number 4 with another snap. A handoff up the middle. Actually, fake and an option route or a keeper, and is brought down for a loss. Kind of faked me out on that. Bring up second and go. Still at about the 2-yard line. Still coming out in this spread. 2 receivers to each side. Number 4, watch out for his mobility. Does a fake, but it looks like no one's there. Either matter. Drops off number 82 for the catch and score. And we have a tie game here, ladies and gentlemen, with 1:20 left in the first quarter.
No, I'm really he's filming. No, he's too much broadcast. He on the broadcast.
Rattlers go for the 2-point conversion. Looks like they will not get it, and it is still tied at 6-6. 1:07 in the first quarter. Just a quick recap of how we got here. Number 6 with about a 4-yard run to start the game. And then number 82 on a screen catch, and dove in for about a 4-yard catch and touchdown. So all this comes of what would have been a heads-up play and a throwaway by number 5, but was actually intercepted and returned for about 30 yards. That was able to give the Rattlers life. A very aggressive first play of the drive. And then they found themselves in a 3rd and 15, but was rescued by a personal foul, roughing the passer, and they were able to make the most of that as well and pound it in for 6. Rattlers set to kick off. Raiders still two back to return. Number 37 with a kick is a line drive, but has a nice bounce. Picked up by, looks like number 21. He patiently waits to see if he can find a hole. Finds a little bit of something, but it looks like it closes shortly. Still tries to make something happen and gets back to about the 35. Brings up the first down, or bring up a first down on this 3rd drive for the Raiders. Had really good success on the first 2 drives. The second one not ending in any points, but was able to move down fairly easily.
Either team may have the quarterback that they got down on.
Raiders come back out in that pistol formation. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Looks like it is a start, and number 6 has the ball. He is running hard and will continue to run hard. It looks like a fumble. The play has not been called dead, and the Raiders or the Rattlers look like they may have the ball. The refs are signaling that there's a penalty on the play. Looks like there might have been some extra activity afterwards between some Raiders and some Rattlers. Yeah, you have that playoff emotions going right now. You have to keep a level head in this situation if you want to help your team out. So as of right now, it looks like we still have some conversation going on in the field. But as of right now, it looks like it will be the Rattlers' ball. Where they start the drive is yet to be known. Emotions will be high in both games, understanding that the losing team, their season will be over. Some teams are venturing and playing in the summer, but it's still not the same as the emotion that you have going on here now. So expect a lot of emotional plays as we move forward into this game and the one we have after as well. We are at 54 seconds in the first quarter. The ref's still sorting everything out, but it looks like it'll be Rattlers' ball. And it will be, it looks like the penalty may have been on the Rattlers. They're backed up. The refs have appeared to give no leeway to teams, and it first bit the Raiders and now has took some yardage away from the Rattlers. They are set to start this drive at about the 48. Come out 2 receivers to each side. Ball snapped. Number 4 looks, gets a little pressure, rolls to the right, but has a man and is overthrown. We'll bring up second down. Number 82 was his intended target. Here we are at 2nd and 10.
And they should have been on it, man. Because at the end of the day, like, don't get me wrong, he's been doing it since he played with the Python.
The Rattlers are now facing a 2nd and 10.
We're not trying to professional. He hit that neck wrong, and then damn, man can't walk the rest of his life. Stop doing it. You huge, bro. We know.
Rattlers drop back. Number 4 dancing around. Evades the tackler, but looks like it slipped up. Looks like a sack with a loss of about 1. We'll bring up 3rd and 11. We are now winding down. 45 seconds in the first quarter. Rattlers looking to pick up on this 3rd down. Be interesting to see if this will be 4-down territory, as you could pin the Raiders back with a good punt. But you wouldn't be losing too much if you did not. Number 4 looking around, takes the snap, pump fakes, finds a man, has 8 open, not able to adjust and make the catch. The pass was a little high, and that will bring up a 4th and 11. Number 8 was the intended receiver. Be curious to see if the Rattlers go for it here on 4th down. A lot of time at the semi-pro level, the special teams aren't as good as other levels, and with the return game, sometimes it's not as beneficial to go for it or to actually punt instead of going for it. But it looks like they may actually punt. Number 4 coming out the game. Punt. The punter back. A high punt. Goes pretty good yard and a nice bounce. Let's see if the Raiders will attempt or they let it roll in, and it will be a touchback. They will start over at the 25-yard line. That could have been a great bounce if the ball would have made bounce backwards just a yard or 2. However, the Raiders will still take off on the 25 and have a 75-yard journey ahead of them.
It's like the high school guy, right? Yeah.
Raiders taking over at the 25. Two receivers to the right, 1 to the left. This is about the same formation they've been on all night. Been flipping the fullback, but other than that, everything stays true. Another run. After a fumble on his last carry, he gets a redemption and makes the most of it with a gain of about 14. That was a nice run by number 6. Way to say I may fumble on one play, but I will not again. 11 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We got a tie game at 6-6. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. And at the end of the first quarter, we have the Nashville Raiders 6, the Clarksville Rattlers 6. In the first game of the TFA playoffs. Just a quick recap. Number 6 of the Raiders on a 2nd and goal was able to pound it in and would not be denied. And then after a turnover by both teams, the Rattlers were able to capitalize on a long drive. And number 82 was able to tie it up for the Rattlers. Remember, stay tuned. After this, we have the second game of the TFA playoff doubleheader. We have the Louisville Piranhas taking on the Nashville Fury. Clifford with the snap. Looks to the right. Throws to number 84. Makes two people miss. Oh, and slips up before it could get any more yardage. He is frustrated, but he has to be happy and tells the Raiders, Number 84 may not be the biggest man on the field, but says that does not matter as a big gain on first down to start out this second quarter. He had a couple touchdowns a few weeks ago against the Chaos and looks to duplicate that performance. Two receivers to the right, number 84 and number 22. Let with the snap. Looks like he rose to the left a little bit, slips up, and goes down.
Yeah, 84 is what's that? You about to have two sources up here, man, so you should be fine. Who y'all playing? Oh, you put a winner in front of it? Yeah, just have us lose. Y'all linemen show up, y'all would be a problem.
The Raiders set second and 10. Walker in the slot. Booker on the right. Run off number 6. Kelly run up the middle of a gain of about 4. Brings up a 3rd and 6. Pretty solid play. The Raiders facing a 3rd and 6. Walker and Clark to the left. Booker to the right. Let at quarterback. Let with the snap. Does a play action, but a flag, and it will. Oh, two guys come in unimpeded. Number 5 with the sack says it's game time, but there is a flag down. Let's see what that'll be for.
Listen, I usually don't say much at the video, but that line show up. Well, we hadn't had. You got to think about this though. Even without
looks like that will be a 4th down. Appears that the penalty may have been on the Raiders. Backing them up. Looking at a 4th and 19 about. Raiders set to punt. Rattlers have a player deep, set to return. We are once again facing a 4th and 19. After a great opening quarter by the Raiders, the Rattlers have found their defensive groove and come up with a stop. Getting ready for the punt. Ball snapped. Punter gets ready. Number 27 takes a nice bounce. 82 touches it, but slips. Looks like he is losing yards and will be brought down aggressively deep in their own territory. And he looks like he may be a little hurt. Actually, looks like he's quite a bit shaken up. Hope everything's all right.
He's like his knees slapped together when he fell.
Let's hope he is okay. He looks like he appears to be in some pain. We are at 8 minutes and 38 seconds. It looks like we have an injury timeout here in the second quarter. Raiders 6, Rattlers 6. Both teams making some plays offensively. Raiders came out, drove down the field, pounded it in on a short goal run by Twan Kelly. On their kickoff, they had a high short kick that was not able to be fielded by the Rattlers, turning the ball over. The Raiders once again was on the drive to back-to-back touchdowns. A questionable play by Clifford led to an interception in the end zone, and they were able to the Rattlers were able to take that back to about the 40. They were able to turn that drive into some points with a short pass to number 82. And here we are with a tied score of 6-6. It continues to appear as if the weather is letting up. Number 82 comes off the field limping. Hope everything is okay with him. The Rattlers, they're back against the goal line, have a long field ahead of them and very little room for any kind of mistake here. And the Raiders will be looking to take advantage of this great field position they have set up here. Rattlers come out. Number 4 in the backfield. 2 receivers to each side. Refs are blowing the play dead real quick.
What they on the one?
'82 looking a little frustrated after getting shooken up. And they are looking at a first down. Looks like we may have a timeout on the field. Just take a second to remind you, after this great game, we have another with the Louisville Piranhas taking on the Nashville Fury, a battle of 2, 3, and 4 teams. They met earlier in the season. The Fury was able to come away victorious with a 16-2 win. We resume play. 2 receivers to each side. Rattlers quarterback number 4 looks like drops back into the shotgun. Has limited room for mistake. Number 84 comes in motion a little bit. I would expect to run. You got to kind of play it safe. I would also expect some pressure by the Raiders. Looks like it is a short pass. Number 15, had it in his hands, but comes up with a drop. That would have been huge. Would have given him some breathing room. Unfortunately, we come up with a second down for the Rattlers. You want to at least give your punter some room. You want to give your punter some breathing room so he's not heel against the out-of-bounds line and potentially put up a safety in a tie game.
Yeah, our first actual field goal last week. Was it a penalty?
Looks like it may have been a penalty on the Raiders as they get a little breathing room, brings up a 1st and 5. 2 receivers to each side. Number 4 in the backfield, number 2 to the right. Number 4, a high snap, but number 4 is able to corral it, makes a man miss, but is brought down, and it will be a safety. They were given a gift with a little bit of breathing room, but a high snap and a aggressive defense will result in 2 points by the Raiders, and that will make this 8-6.
Hey, that's up around.
A safety by the Raiders brings that 8-6 score.
Yeah, you got it. There you go. I'm gonna figure this shit out, y'all. Hey.
The Rattlers set to kick off.
Bro, you got way too many matches. I'm scrolling.
Bro, that's me and Ricky, bro. That's just from the season, bro.
I know y'all that I was gonna play the Bulldogs too. Y'all like shit.
Yeah, I didn't think you was gonna play.
Why not though? That's shit.
The Rattlers set to kick off. The Raiders have 2 players back to return.
It didn't. Probably didn't.
Why you ain't think I will?
I'll be forgetting to press the button sometimes. There's a lot going on.
Looks like TJ Hutchins. Hutchinson, I apologize, is back to return, counting to make sure he's got 11 men on the field. Looks like a punt by the Rattlers. Hutchinson rose up, will let it bounce a little bit, gets it, looks the man to the left, makes the person miss, shakes another person, but will be brought down by a group of Rattlers after a decent gain, and will bring it to the 42-yard line. The Raiders will take over with an 8-6 lead, 8 minutes and 19 seconds left in the second quarter of the first TFA playoff game.
Yeah, chill out with that.
The Raiders set to take over on the 42-yard line. 3 receivers to the right. This is a new formation that we've been seeing with the heavier backfield. Corker to the left with man. It looks like man-to-man cover on number 23. Takes a snap, rolls to the right, will decide he'll keep it himself and goes down. Ooh, it looks like it could have been a potential late hit by the Rattlers, but no flag, so they'll carry on. And it looks like actually about a gain of 8. Looks like Aled had decided pretty early on that he was going to keep it. Solid decision as he gains about 7 yards on that. Brings up a 2nd and 3rd. Ball on the 49-yard line. 7 minutes and 45 seconds left in the second. $7:30 left in the second quarter. Looks like we have 1 receiver to the right. We'll go 3 to the left, 1 to the left, 3 to the right. Drops back, kind of pump fakes, rolls to the right, throws it up, anyone's ball, and might be intercepted by the Rattlers. And yes, it is. Interception by the Rattlers. I can't quite tell who that is, but he is letting us know he is here to play. And that looks like Justin Wells, a 6'1" cornerback. And the Rattlers will take over at the 42 or 3-yard line with an opportunity to take the lead. The Rattlers, even though they are new, having a very successful season by some previous struggles, they are here to say we are here to make a statement. Rattlers take the field, ball on the 42, looks to take its first lead of the afternoon. 2 receivers to each side. Greg House lined up on the right. Ball snapped, a high snap, handed off to number 2, Townsend, and will be a run of about 5. Rattlers set to take over, 2nd and 5. 2 receivers to each side. Ball snapped, another high snap, but his hand off to number 2. Townsend will have another gain. Looks like he gets some help from his lineman. Raiders jumping up there to make the stop. Little aggressive, but anything you can do to get a stop in playoffs. The Rattlers set up in 3rd and 3. 2 receivers to each side. Running back into the left of the quarterback. Number 4 scans the field. Another snap. Fakes the handoff and will go up to the middle. Looks like a gain of nothing. And will bring up a 4th and 3. Be interesting to see if the Rattlers try to take advantage of this short opportunity and ball on the 50-yard line to try to take the lead for the first time this evening. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second quarter. 8-6, Raiders lead. Both teams have scored a touchdown. The Raiders have added a safety, and the refs are calling. Look like the refs are stopping play, and it'll be a timeout. Rattlers. Take this opportunity to let you know that after this game, we have another game. The 3 and 4 Louisville Piranhas taking on the 3 and 4 Nashville Fury. All 4 teams today looking to play 2 teams, the top teams in their respective conference. The winner of this game will play the Middle Tennessee Bulldogs, who come in with a 7-0 record. And the winner of the next game will play the Dixon Chaos, who are sitting at 3 and 4. We would like to do a shout out to Scott Wallace and Ricky Proshka for putting on the Tennessee Football Alliance, and it has been a very exciting season. You had one conference that had all teams, I believe, with a 3 and 4 record, or at least all teams that made the playoffs, and then you had another team, the other conference, with them fighting amongst themselves to chase the number 1 seed, the Middle Tennessee Bulldogs. Rattlers going for it on 4th down. Trips to the right. 1 receiver to the left. Running back in the backfield. Ball snapped. Fakes the handoff. Looks for someone. Pedals backwards. Looks like he has a little bit of time. Dumps it off to number 2. Will he be able to make a play? Does make one man miss and is able to pick up the first down on a big 4th down play. Nice catch and run by number 2, Tyree Townsend. Townsend actually started the season at quarterback, made a couple plays, but the team overall decided to change and go with number 4 and has been able to improve offensively from that. And number 2 is still able to contribute. Townsend's still able to make plays, and a big one right there. So we have 1 receiver to the right, 3 to the left, quarterback in the backfield with Townsend to his left. Another high snap will be a loss of some yards. Can number 4 make a play? Townsend falls on it and saves. Looks like it may have been an aggressive dive by the Raiders. The ref says it's okay, so we'll play on. And that will bring up a 3rd and forever. When you get to the semi-pro level, it is often tough to build a strong offensive line, and that's something that a lot of people take for granted when they come in. And if the line's not on the same page, you can have some wacky plays, and that one hindered the Rattlers on this drive. We have 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second quarter. 8-6 with the Raiders with a 2-point lead. Receivers for the Rattlers swapping. 2 receivers to each side. Townsend still in the backfield. We have a 2nd and long, a flag on the play. Short pass to number 8, and it will be dropped, bringing up a 3rd down pending this penalty. That will bring up a 3rd and about 30, give or take some. But it looks like it'll be a penalty on the Raiders. Maybe move it up 5 yards. We'll help them out a little bit, and we'll bring up another 2nd down, so they'll get another attempt. If you're the Rattlers, you don't need all 25 or 25-plus yards here in one play. If you can set up another screen and convert on it and get maybe 8 to 10 yards, you set up manageable 4-down territory. Number 4 with the snap. Townsend flares out. He pump fakes to him, but still ends up going to him. And the Raiders say, not this time, and pull him down with a loss of 1. We have dipped under the 4 minutes in the second quarter. Score still 8-6.
Very long for the Rattlers.
The Rattlers coming back out. The Rattlers, 3 receivers to the left. Number 4 looking, has a man and is hit hard and will get him back to the original line of scrimmage. Looks like that is a catch. Looks like by number 8, which is Brown. It looks like he has a catch of about 12, bringing up a 4th and 10. The Rattlers appear to be going for broke and trying to pick it up here. If they can score on this drive, they will take the lead for the first time this evening. The Raiders looking to get a stop here and take back over and get back to their offensive ways that they started the game with. 2 receivers to each side once again. Ball snapped. Quarterback looking to pass. Goes over the middle again, and a catch to the ground. They calling him down, but it will be first down again by Brown. It'll be another big catch. He is here to play as well. Here we are, and they have a first down. That was a great set of plays there by the Rattlers to go from 2nd and 25 and picking up a first down. The Rattlers are looking a little discombobulated, and they will call a timeout. Oh, actually, it looks like it'll be the 2-minute warning. We are at 2 minutes. The Nashville Raiders 8, the Clarksville Rattlers 6.
Hey, they said if you suplex somebody, they kick you out the game.
We are in our 2-minute warning here. 2 minutes left, like I said, 2 minutes left in the second quarter. We're going into the second half. We have another great game after this. If the second half of this game is anything like the first, we are in for a fantastic finish. The winner will advance to play the Bulldogs. The Raiders actually dropped their first 2 games of the season and went on a little bit of a winning streak to finish strong. Found their offense a couple weeks ago. Put up several touchdowns in a game against the Chaos. As someone who is actually from the Louisville area, I have to give props to the way the Nashville area conducts their football. Every team competitive, whether it be the 2 teams that missed the playoffs or the undefeated team atop the league. Everyone is competitive and fights to the scoreboard hits 0, and that is tough to do, especially for one city. The Rattlers come back out on a first down, 2 receivers to each side. Another snap to number 4. Looks down, finds a man, goes to attack. Looks like there might have been some contact while the ball was in the air, but no call. Bring up second down, 1 minute and 52 seconds left in the second quarter.
Hey, what's number 15?
Two receivers to each side on the 2nd and 10 play. And it looks like a flag on the play. Looks like it will be a false start on the Rattlers. Back them up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 15. This is they're having a great drive. You don't really want to shoot yourself in the foot with some disciplinary penalties such as that. But we just seen them come back from it 2nd and 25. So compared to that, 2nd and 15 shouldn't be too tough. 2 receivers to each side. Quarterback and running back in the back, running back to the left. Ball snapped. Number 37 flares out. Ball, a high pass, but is pulled down. Makes a couple people miss. That seems to be the play to make there. And that side of the field is Corker, number 8, made it for the Raiders in the first quarter. And that will bring up a 3rd and 4. Good play by the Rattlers to make up some of that ground lost and come up with a manageable 3rd down as they have a 3rd and a 4th down attempt to pick up 4 yards. Edwards with the handoff. Looks like it'll be a tough gain of about 2. We'll cut that yards needed in half, bring up a 4th and 2nd. Edwards getting the play from the sideline. Looks like we'll continue with this 2 receivers to each side. Oh, and it will be a timeout for the Rattlers. 51 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Still 8-6. Raiders lead. Raiders looking to play in some bend but don't break defense on this 4th down. 2 yards separates a turnover by the Rattlers and a 1st down. Once again, make sure you stay with us for the upcoming game and for weeks to come. We should have 2 games again next week. The Middle Tennessee Bulldogs will take on the winner of this game, and the Dixon Chaos will take on the winner of our next game. Once again, we have 51.9 seconds left in the second quarter. We're in a Rattlers timeout. A recap of how we got here. The Raiders scored on a short run. The Rattlers answered that by a short pass. And then a safety for the Raiders gave them a 2-point lead. And now we are Rattlers on the move, ready to answer and try to get their first lead. Looks like they come back. Originally, looked like they had 2 receiver or 2 back set. Goes back to their conventional 2 receivers to each side. Edwards with the snap. Play action. Over the middle. Looks like there was some contact. Looks like we may have some extracurricular. I don't think we're getting a call.
No flags on the play.
And that will be turnover. That it definitely looked like they might have gotten tangled up. I'm not exactly sure on who that was. However, the ref said no call here, and that will be 1st down for the Raiders. 47 seconds. It'll be interesting to see their plan of attack. Do they play it safe and go on halftime with the lead, or do they come out firing and potentially score, but could also potentially turn over and give the ball back to the Rattlers. It's always the one where do you play to win or do you play you're going to get second-guessed if any of them don't go the way that you intend to them. So I always say let's go for it. You can never score too many points, and you never know what kind of momentum you build with touchdowns. And number 5 has made some plays a couple weeks ago, and I think he could do it again. Here we are. Let at quarterback. And I'll actually call a timeout. The Raiders want to make sure they get everything right for these final few seconds they got here. We are, like I said, under a minute, 47 seconds to go. So far, it appears as if the rain has held off. Looks like we might get some additional as the evening continues. But if it could stay like this might be about perfect football weather, at least for the spring league. Raiders with a handoff, missed tackle. Looks like our running back gets some more yard, and looks like they are playing it safe and are content with letting the clock run out.
Looks like they're going to let the clock run down and go into the half of the lead. 8-6.
And it looks like they are, once again, content on taking that lead. They may have to run one more play here, or maybe not. Might be able to pull off something deep here with minimum time remaining to limit some of the risk that could come with this play. Number 5 with the snap. Looks like he's going to keep. Makes a couple people miss, but is eventually brought down with 3 seconds left, and that will be it for the first half. We enter halftime with a 8-6 lead to the Raiders, and we will pick back up here in the second half. Hope you continue to join us, and remember to stay with us for the second game. Actually, it may appear as if there is actually some more time left. I apologize. Looks like it might be 3 seconds left. Looks like the Raiders may have called a timeout to get one last heave or attempt at some points, or maybe even a pass interference to set them up at a shorter opportunity. Let with the snap. Rattlers bring some heat. He steps up. That will end it. It drops it down to number 8, and it'll go incomplete, and that will once again be halftime. And we have a halftime score of the Nashville Raiders 8, the Clarksville Rattlers 6. Are we sure?
I can't stop it, so.
We are back here to start the second half of the Nashville Raiders and the Clarksville Rattlers. We had a very exciting first half. The Raiders came out with an early 6-0 lead. The Rattlers were able to answer and tied it up at 6-6. The Rattlers have been on the drive a couple times to make some to try to take the lead. A safety in their own end zone, however, gave the Raiders a 2-point lead, and we are now here 8-6 as we set to kick off for the second half of the first TFA playoff game. The Rattlers have two returners back. Raiders set to kick off. The kickoff is ready, and we have looks like an onside kick that rose and is taken down. Nice recovery by the Rattlers, and they'll start this drive at their own 45. I'm always a strong opponent for going for onside kick in the semi-pro. Usually, special teams isn't something that's practiced a lot by teams from time to time, and you 9 times out of 10 are starting at your own 35, 40-yard line anyway. Why not onside kick it with a decent chance of getting the ball back? It looked as if the Rattlers weren't prepared for that, and they were able to get it, but that could have easily turned the other way for the Raiders. The Rattlers set to start their drive on their own 45, 1st and 10.
Wishbone formation.
They're back in the wishbone formation. Remember, guys, last time we seen this, it was a halfback pass. Let's see if we see the same. We start. It looks like it was more of a conventional run to Townsend, looking for some space. Stiffs arms a man, is able to make a little bit out of it, picks up 4 yards, and that will be a second and 7 for the Clarksville Rattlers. We are now 2nd and 7. Raiders starting up with their 4-man front. Rattlers back, 2 receivers to each side. Townsend in the backfield. Quarterback scanning the field with pre-snap. Calls the cadence. Ball snapped. Good snap that time. 2 starting out. Townsend with a little dump-off pass. Can he make something out of it? He does. He gets another 3 yards to set up about a 3rd and 5. Another play by Townsend. That has seemed to be their bread and butter here recently, either a handoff or a short pass to Townsend, and he makes the best of it. We are now approaching 11 minutes in the 3rd quarter. Score still 8-6, 3rd and 5. 2 receivers to each side. Looks like Townsend's coming out the game. Sending Sanders back in as his replace, number 6, in their normal spread offense. Ball snapped a little high, but he's able to take it. Defender slips, giving it. Oh, and that should have been an interception by the Raiders. A little out of his reach, but either way, we'll bring up a 4th down. Be interested to see what the Rattlers do here. 4th and 5. I imagine they would go for it. It just seems like about the best thing to do. Or you could always try to pin the Rattlers or the Raiders back. Clock ticks down, approaching 10.5. Looks like the Rattlers will go for it. Sanders remains in the backfield. 2 receivers to each side. Line gets set. 4-man front by the Raiders. A linebacker creeping up. Another high snap, but corralled in. Looks like no place to go and is brought down for a loss of 5. That will be a turnover on downs. Raiders played very well on that possession and will take over. The Raiders came out hot, scoring easily on their first drive, got a turnover in special teams, and was on their own goal line for the second one before turning the ball over. That's how they got the 6-0 lead, and they're looking to build on that. I look for the I look for the Raiders to get back to some running the ball, some slants. Slants tend to work very well at the semi-pro level due to linebackers maybe getting out of position, blitzing. And the play will be whistled dead before we get going. Be curious to see what the play or what the call might be. Looks like it might be on the Raiders, potentially a false start. And it does look as if it will be a loss of about 5, bringing up a 1st and 15. I would expect them to get Kelly run back into the run game. He had some great success in the first half. And when you got a lead and you're trying to build there's no really urgency to put up immediate points. Lights coming on as we approach the night game. And another penalty, is that on the Raiders as well? And it is. We'll bring up a 1st and 20. As you begin to back up and lose yardage on penalties, you're kind of becoming one-dimensional. You're getting rid of the possibility of a run, or at least the danger of it. Raiders didn't have too many penalties in the first half. They did have one big one, the personal foul that gave the Rattlers a second chance on a long drive, and they were able to turn that into points. And then here on this drive, we have back-to-back penalties.
Said to take a snap, 1st and 20. 3 receivers set.
Booker, single receiver to the left, 2 running backs in the back. Let in the shotgun. Looks like that might be on the Rattlers. Nope, once again on the Raiders. 3 straight false starts and still doing themselves no favor. We are looking at a 1st and 25, and they are moving in the wrong direction. I expect the Raiders to still come out 3 receivers. They've been playing with Clark, Booker, and Walker majority of the game. Led back in the huddle, relaying the play to his team. Comes out, Corker still, 1 receiver to the left, 2 running backs to the back in the backfield. We get a stop up, we get a play, and it'll be a quarterback keeper, but looks like it will get nothing, and we'll bring up a 2nd down. So we have our first meaningful snap by the Raiders here in the second half as we just cross into 10:30 left in the 3rd quarter. Score remains 8-6, Raiders lead. I would not be surprised to see the Rattlers dial up some pressure, given the fact that the Raiders are going to be looking deep on this 2nd and 25. But Raiders fans, either way, don't fret this field position. This is about where they were when they had the great punt that set up the great field position and led to a safety. We have Walker and Clark to the left this time. Walker on the outside. Let with the snap, fakes a handoff, goes over, a little behind Clark, and will wind up incomplete and bring up a 3rd and long. We are looking at 3rd and long, 9 minutes and 38 seconds left in the 3rd. I would say the Raiders would at least need, I would say, 20 yards before considering maybe going forward on a 4th down. Still 2 backs in the backfield. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Looks like it might have been a false start on the receiver out to the right. And that will make the already 3rd and long a little bit longer. Back it up 5 more yards. That will be the 4th false start on this one drive. After playing an overall pretty smooth first half, the Raiders are struggling a little bit to get going here in the 3rd quarter. Walker and Clark approaching the line to the left. And 2 other running backs in the back. Booker still to the right. Let with a snap. Has some time, goes for Booker, but is overthrown, and that will bring up a 4th and about 30. Will be an incomplete pass, and I imagine the Raiders are set to punt, looking to pin the Rattlers back. The Rattlers set out to return this punt. Brown back deep. Looks like he's also back there with Sanders.
Number 27 back in the punt for the Raiders.
The Rattlers are looking to be able to field this punt and make something happen out of it. The Raiders are looking to duplicate their last punt and have it roll all the way back to the 1. So let's see what we have here. Rattlers look to be backed off a little bit, not really bringing too much heat on this. The punt is off. It's not too long, but it could hit a good bounce. Looks like it may have bounced off of players. The Rattlers filled it, breaking a couple of tackles. It looks like he has some room. Sanders picks up a block, makes another man miss, heads to the opposite sideline, and is finally tracked down after a great return. A penalty on the play. Not quite sure who that'll be on. Looks like some extracurricular. Once again, here we are. Here we are again. Playoff emotions going. That will hurt you in this time, and then that'll hurt you as you develop or as you advance on. I know for a fact, firsthand off previous seasons, the Bulldogs thrive off you being emotional and making mistakes. That certainly will not help, even if the either team that's able to pull off a victory here today. So as of right now, it will be the Rattlers in their own red zone. Penalties, depending, might be offsetting. We'll have to wait and see. 9:25 in the third quarter. Doesn't look like the rain has picked up much. Might be a little bit out there. Still pretty ideal field conditions. The refs are currently sorting all the information out. Both teams eagerly await the ref's decision here. If you're the Raiders and the penalty is on the Rattlers, you are hoping to give yourself a little bit more breathing room. And if you're the Rattlers, you're hoping that the penalty is on the Raiders and you can get even further in your red zone, potentially even a first and goal as you try to take your first lead of the evening. The ref's still talking. Looks like we might get an answer here. We're still trying to iron out some of the details. Ooh, personal foul by the Rattlers. That will back them up. Oh, actually, it looks like it may be offsetting. I apologize. I spoke too soon. Offsetting penalties. So no harm, no foul. We'll pick up where we were. But if you're the teams that have been assessed these personal fouls, you don't want to have them accrue. The Rattlers back on offense. Still it looks like 3 receivers to the left. Townsend back in the backfield. Edwards at quarterback.
Edwards said to take the snap. Townsend to his right.
Neal, a lone receiver to the right. Townsend in the backfield. Ref still doing a little bit of talking and ironing out the situation. 3 receivers to the left. Looks like that third slot has a little bit of space to work with. Edwards snaps, looks at that, but will pass it on. Steps up to run, breaking a few tackles, gaining a little bit of about 4. Bring up a 2nd and 6 by the Rattlers. 2nd and 6. Ball on about the 12-yard line. Rattlers really wanting to capitalize off this and take a lead. We are approaching 9 minutes in the third quarter. Edwards orchestrating the offense. 3 receivers still to the left. Townsend in the backfield with him. Neal still to the right. Ball snapped. Looks. Neal fakes. That's where he's going to go. High. Double coverage. And is picked off by the Raiders. That is a interception by Miller, and that will save it. And they will start over. The Raiders will start on the 25-yard line. that's once again not really something you can have in a playoff game. Turnovers, each possession is very important. Turnovers will kill that drive. And the Raiders will start on the 25, looking to milk some more clock, add to this lead. Let's see if they can get back to the run that was so successful. Once you're able to get the run, both backs for the Raiders are big backs that will tire out the defense. The more they have to tackle number 6, AKA the Dodge Caravan, the more they have to tackle that. That's going to tire them out. Both 2 running backs on either side. Let with the snap. Handoff. Went back to the run game. Ooh, a nice run. And that'll be a nice run by, looks like Jones. Once again, he is another big back. That is not a fun back to tackle. And as you get tired, as you get discouraged by the events that have unfolded so far, those hits keep leading up. And as they start, hand the ball off to Kelly and Jones, that's going to tire out that defense. It's going to make your safeties come up, and then you have your speed guy and Walker, and your big receiver and Booker who can take it off the top and add to this lead. Clock still continues to run as we approach 8 minutes. 2 receivers in the back. Let with the snap, a low snap, but he'll pick it up and try to make something happen out of it, and we'll get minimum gain, if any. Actually, it looks like it may actually be a loss, so that should bring up second down. Second down, 11 coming up for the Raiders. Once again, this has been really the story of the game. Both teams kind of having some rough go with the snaps. None having too much of a major impact. Did lead to a safety or at least had a helping hand in it. We approached 7.5 in the third quarter. Booker back single to the left. Kelly and Jones in the back with Let. Walker and Clark to the right. Ball snapped. Play action. Looking for some space. Founds a little bit. Throws it up. He did that earlier in the game. Kind of just threw it away, and it didn't end as well. That one ended pretty harmless. Lived to see another down. We'll bring up a 3rd and 10. Obviously expect a pass here. And if you're the Rattlers, you're looking for a stop. You're looking to get the ball back in decent field position. On the last punt, they had a great return, set them up. Couldn't quite take advantage of it, but once you get that momentum going and you know that it can be done, you're still eager to go. Once again, stay again for our second game after this. The Louisville Piranhas taking on the Nashville Fury. Let set for the snap. Ball snapped, and it will be called dead. And that will be timeout by the Raiders. Want to kind of talk this 3rd and 10 over. I wonder if the Piranhas going to start at quarterback. Booker lined up on 3rd down to the left here. Single receiver. 2 receivers still to the back. Let with the snap. Both running backs blocking. Corker with a great – it's actually intercepted. Wow. Looks like it was not secured by Booker. I apologize. And will lead to a turnover. Rattlers still have life. 8-6. Raiders lead. 7-11 left in the third quarter. The Rattlers need to get a little bit of momentum. you kind of still want to stick to Townsend on the dump offs, and then over top they've had some great receiver play, just not been as consistent. I maybe could relate that to the time that Edwards hasn't quite been getting. Give credit to the Raiders' defense and ability to create pressure. Edwards and Townsend set to take off. 3 receivers to the right. Single receiver to the left.
Rattlers come out from the Raiders 45-yard line.
Ball snapped to Edwards. Play action. That was a good play action. Has a man, and that is a great catch. That is a good catch. A man on his back. Not quite sure who that is. But that is, once again, that is a great catch. That's a way to stand in there by Edwards. He knew where he wanted to go. He had the coverage he wanted, and it was just a matter of making the catch, and he was able to. Brings up a 1st and 10. Trips to the right. Single receiver to the left. Townsend in the backfield with Edwards. Ball snapped. Looks like a handoff to Townsend. Makes a man miss, but it's still brought down with a minimum gain. Where the Raiders defense definitely like to attack that run. But you have to run to keep them honest, even when you are trailing, even though it is 2 points. Brings up a 2nd and 10. Three receivers to the right. Looks like we have Brown at the far end receiver. Neal is your outside receiver. Number 82 in the middle. Single receiver to the left. Townsend still in the backfield with Edwards. Looking at a 2nd and 10. Ball snapped. Pump fakes. Goes to the right. Has a man. Oh, but a well-timed reflection by number 0, Howard, for the Raiders. Brings up a 3rd and 10. Definitely 2-down territory. 5 minutes and 42 seconds. You know, if you're watching this and you're not really familiar with many football games at this level, you may be asking why do they keep going for it? Why on 4th down are they trying to go for the touchdown? And you don't see a whole lot of kickers. I believe we had our first actual TFA field goal last week. The week before, I think we had 2 extra points that was kicked. So if you have a kicker, it's a great luxury to have because you can always snap up some points. But if you don't, you find yourself going for it. Edwards finds himself being round out to the left, overthrows his intended receiver, and will bring up 4th down. So imagine with me for a second that the Rattlers had a strong kicking game. They could easily take the lead here. However, you find yourself, since you don't, you find yourself with 4th and 10. You got to try to find a play here. Your dump offs, your slants tend to not be as efficient, and you find yourself trying to make a play that you're not really as comfortable with. Historically, in the first half, Brown made some back-to-back great catches. The middle of the field is open, so if he can get some separation from his man, I could see that being a place for him to go. 84 is inviting some man-to-man coverage over on the right. Ball snap, low snap, bounce. 4 is on the run. Does he have some room? He decides to throw for it. Has a man. It is caught. Wow, 84 in the man-to-man coverage. Catches a great catch. Takes it in, and the Rattlers have the lead, currently 12-8. Great catch by Xavier Neal, a 6-foot wide receiver. And that gives the Rattlers the first lead of the game, and the tides have turned. Number 4 had made he changed my tone. I was a little curious on how they were going to try to pick up 10 yards in one pass when it hadn't really been effective up to this point, but he made a play, both great pass, good catch. And here we are, 12-8 lead, 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And they're going for 2. Another low snap, keeps the ball, spins around. Ooh, is hit hard, and that will not be good. That is not it does not convert. But however, the Rattlers still have the lead, 12-8. when you get into the playoffs, you get the real players have a certain emotion, and you have a certain emotion, and sometimes that can play against you, that can play for you. As of right now, it's playing in the Rattlers' favor. I can fully expect their defense to come out and lay some solid hits, make some plays. It's on the Raiders now to tip them scales. If the Raiders can come out here and get back on that offensive mind that they had, we could see some great things and continue on to this great game we have. It's a 12-8 Rattlers lead. 5 minutes and 28 seconds left in the third quarter. Still have plenty of time left. Rattlers set to kick off. 2 Raiders back deep to return.
Number 37, Ignacio set to kick off.
Ignacio with the high and deep kick. Gives a bounce. The Raiders are able to scoop it up. Number 21 cuts to the right, finds a lane, will break a tackle, finds another lane, and this is what I'm talking about. That momentum has shifted, but he's able to be hawked down from behind by number 7, and he is brought down at the 38. And just like that, the Raiders are cooking again.
Return by number 21, Dominique Dowdell. Sets the Raiders up at the 43-yard line.
The Raiders are set to take over here.
Why did he slow down? I feel like he was hurt or something.
Raiders in the huddle, set to make a play. Looks like they come out in a rare trips. Walker, the farthest receiver on the left. Booker on the receiver to the right. Ball snapped. Number 5 let hands off, and it will be a small gain. We'll bring up a 2nd and 10 once again. The Raiders came out in trips. Looks like they may be heading back to that 2-back set. That is it's a pretty solid set to be in. You still keep the run game, especially with the big backs that you have there. And both Kelly, actually, it looks like I'm corrected. They still remain in the trips to the left. Walker far to the left. Booker to the right. Let with the snap. Looks to the right. Will go. Has a man and, slides through his hands. Looks like he had been kind of leaning and diving to make that catch by Clark. That will be incomplete pass. We'll bring up 3rd and 10. Third and 10. I imagine this will be 4-down territory. If you're the Raiders, you don't need all 10 yards right here. If you can get a 5-yard slant, a 4-yard run, it makes things a little easier. They come back out and trips to the right, or trips to the left. I apologize. Walker leads the outside. Clark with the furthest man in. Booker all the way to the right. Looks like a free play for Let. Let looks to go deep. He wants it now. Is overthrown. Another flag on the play. Be interested to see how this all sorts out. We are approaching 4.5 minutes in the third quarter. Rattlers 12, Raiders 8. At the conclusion of this game, we will go into our next playoff game, the Louisville Piranhas versus the Nashville Fury. So it looks like we may have had unnecessary roughness on that play. Either way, it'll be enough for a 1st down. Kind of resets things for the Raiders, looking to take the lead. Trips to the left once again. Walker on the outside, Booker on the right. Let in the backfield, 1 running back. Let with the snap. Looks to the right. Looks like that's where he's going to go. Booker gets tripped up. Looks like they'll consider that incidental and will bring up a second down.
Oh, you talking to the players.
4 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third quarter. Bring up 2nd and 10. 3 receivers to the left. Ball snapped. Hands off to big number 6 again, and he is taking no prisoners, dragging everyone with him for a 10-yard game. Another great run by Kelly, and those are the type of runs that really help all the way around. Of course, he gets the first down, but he had guys in the secondary attempting to make the tackle. I bet you they did not wake up this morning wanting to do that. And so now we are 1st and goal on about the 10 or 9, and we'll bring up an opportunity for the Raiders to take a lead as we approach 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter. 3 receivers to the left. Walker spread out wide. Booker single receiver on the right. High snap, but reeled in by Lett. Looks like it might be a false start. We'll potentially push him back.
I think that's outside, bro.
Encroachment by the defense. Okay, so that will actually help out the Raiders. Raiders look at a 1st and goal at about the 5-yard line. Three receivers to the left, 1 receiver to the right, 1 running back in the back with Lett. Wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of run here, but they're passing. It will look like he'll dump down. The ball will hang for a little while and allow for the defender to close in, and that will be an incomplete pass and bring up 2nd and goal.
It looked like it was a decent little hit. You know where they're going now.
3 receivers to the left. Kelly in the backfield. I would not be surprised at all if he got the ball here. And it is a little delayed handoff, and he will actually be stopped. The Rattlers were ready for that. I guess they saw the back change and played the odds.
I can't do that.
We'll bring up 3rd and goal. The Raiders looking at 2 more opportunities to punch it in for a score. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third. Rattlers 12, Raiders 8. Raiders coming back out in the trips left. Booker to the right. Lett with the pass, Rose to the right, looking at Booker. Will make a pass, and it was a great pass. Is it good? And that is a touchdown, Raiders. That was a very good pass and catch, Lett to Booker. And that gives the lead back to the Raiders, currently 14-12. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in the third.
That was a pretty decent pass. That was nice.
3 to the left, 3 receivers to the left as the Raiders go for this 2-point conversion. Look to expand the lead. Ball snapped, rose to the right. Looks like a duplicate of the same play we had. Same play, same results, and 2-point conversion. Looks like the Raiders had so much fun on that touchdown pass they would do it again. And the Raiders now have a 16-12 lead.
Conversion by the Raiders complete on the same play. Makes the score 16-12 with 2:22 remaining in the third quarter. Rattlers set to receive the kick.
We have 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in the third quarter. Raiders 16, Rattlers 12. Quick little recap. The Raiders jumped out to a 6-0 lead after a short run by Kelly in the first quarter on the first drive. After a couple turnovers by both teams, number 82 by the Rattlers was able to catch and run a short pass in to tie it up at 6-6. A little while later, the Raiders took advantage of a safety, taking an 8-6 lead. And here's of late, we had a great pass by the Rattlers to take a 12-8 lead, and then we have that pass to Booker to take a 16-12 lead. Raiders set to kick off. One Rattler deep, one a little shallower. Looks like the other Rattler is creeping up a little bit. A high short kick. The Rattler is able to bring it in. And is brought down by several. Oh, looks like some extracurriculars going on. Passions once again running high, and they'll both be separated by their current teams. A good return by the Rattlers. They'll take over at the 42. Once again, kind of goes back to what I was saying. If you're the Raiders, you should onside kick that. They onside kicked it last time, and they lost 3 yards in the different play.
Yeah, with the finger kick. Yeah, with the net. Yeah.
Rattlers set to take over. Ball on the 42. Looks like they might be bringing in a heavier package. Could potentially be going back to the wishbone. They've run this twice. First play was a halfback pass. The second one was a more conventional toss. 2 receivers on the outside. Fullback, 2 running back in the backfield. Another toss. Looks like we're going back to the halfback pass. A little check down there, but it has some great results. 37 breaking tackles, trucks the man, and it takes 4 Raiders to bring him down, and they haven't even brought him down. Finally goes down after a great game. Rattlers going back to the well. We've seen that play ran 3 times. 2 have been passed. 1 has been a run, kind of a nod back to the 1950 NFLs. Anyone could throw the ball at any time back then. We approach a minute and a half. 1st and 10.
1st and 10 Rattlers from the 25.
Rattlers taking over on the 20, or moving it up to the 25. Be curious to see if they go into they remain in this wishbone. Still have 2 receivers to each side. Looks like we're going to continue to run the wishbone. Edwards under center. I apologize. That is Townsend under center. Edwards is actually the one that received the toss. That one would not be near as successful, actually losing a couple yards. We have wound down under a minute in the third quarter. Raiders 16, Rattlers 12. Second and about 13. Rattlers going back to their more conventional spread. 2 receivers to each side. Edwards and Townsend in the backfield. Number 99, their lineman, seems to be going back and communicating, almost like a pitcher and catcher conversation that you would see in a baseball game. Ball snapped. Edwards drops back, looks to pass, steps up, drops back again, shaking defenders. A flag on the play. Let's see if we can make anything. Oh, and he is brought down. That might actually be a fumble, and I believe they are calling it a fumble. but let's see if it stands. I'm not sure what that penalty would be on. They are calling it a fumble. Currently, if this play stands, it would be the Raiders' ball. The two referees communicating, pointing in the direction of the possible offenders. We are at 14 and a half seconds left in the third quarter. This is the first of our TFA Round 1 playoff doubleheader. The following game will be the Louisville Piranhas versus the Tennessee Fury. Would like to apologize to the Fury. I've spent the first 3 quarters referring to as the Nashville Fury. It is actually the Tennessee Fury. It is a rematch from an earlier game. Actually, all these are rematches, but the Fury actually beat the Piranhas 16-2. The Fury come in with a very solid quarterback and a good offense, great passing game. The Piranhas come in, travel all the way down from Louisville, solid defense. Seen some plays on offense, also seen its fair share of struggles. So it'd be interesting to see how that game plays out. But we still have a great one here. Raiders 16, Rattlers 12. Looks like the Rattlers will retain the possession.
Bang, bang.
Fourteen and a half seconds remaining. Oh, actually, still trying to iron out all the details here. The teams are actually moving. The balls are being backed up. But the markers are remaining the same. So the penalty must have been prior to the play because it looks like the penalty was on the Rattlers, but they do not get assessed the turnover. Edwards with the snap, looking downfield, has a man in his face, throws it anyway, tipped up. Anyone's ball, intercepted by the Raiders. Number 9 with his second interception of the day is, oh, I apologize, that is number 0. Either way, another interception, and the Raiders are taking over. That was you can kind of see that unfolding as he was throwing off his back foot, falling backwards. Once the ball got tipped, it was anyone's possession. It was just a matter of who wanted it more. The Raiders did, and they were able to turn over. They'll take over first and 10 on about their 40. We have 2 seconds left in the third quarter. 16-12 Raiders lead. Raiders come out. Looks like 2 receivers to the left. 2-back system once again. Looks like it's Kelly back there as well with Lett. Walker lined up far to the left. Booker single to the right. Another fullback run with Kelly and gets minimum gain, and that will end the third quarter as the Raiders have a 16-12 lead on the Rattlers. And we will be flipping the field as we enter in the fourth quarter of a 1-possession contest. 12 minutes left in regulation. Once again, Raiders 16, Rattlers 12. We are back in the fourth quarter. We start at it, 12 minutes. 2 receivers to the right. Looks like you have Walker and Clark. 2-back system, each opposite side of Lett. Booker, I believe, to the left. Still a single receiver on that side. Ball snapped, handoff. Looks like he's got some great room and is chopped down after about a gain of 5. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that is Denzel Jones. The Raiders trying to milk this lead. Entering the fourth quarter, I think this is I think we should see a heavy dose of Jones and Kelly. Both big backs, both take a lot to bring down. Tire out that defense, and then let and Booker or Walker, Clark even make a play as we approach 11 minutes. Clock still ticks. Rattlers need to come up with a stop here. Let with a snap. Rose to the right. Finds a man. Throws. It might be underthrown, and it is incomplete pass. Pass intended to Booker, number 8. We'll bring up a 4th and 6. Do the Raiders attempt to punt and pin the Rattlers back, or do they go for it and try to put an additional nail in the coffin here? Looks like the rain may have picked up just a bit. Let's see if that has any impact on the game. It actually looks like the Raiders are set to punt. One returner back. Another returner about halfway. We've seen some decent punts with some nice bounces. This benefited the Raiders. It looks like we have a penalty. The penalty appears to be on the Raiders. Illegal substitution by the Raiders. Back them up to a 4th and 11. Number 27 takes a snap. It's a low punt. Bounces between his legs. Rattlers are attempting to attack and will be brought down. The tides have turned once again in this back and forth match we have here as we just dip under 11 minutes. That was a great literal bounce by the Rattlers. Very good job by the Rattlers to secure that tackle. If the punter could have made a man miss, he might have been able to make a better situation of that or even get a punt off. But it was great work, and he was able to take over on about the 20. The Rattlers really need a score here. We still have a little under 11 minutes left, but as the time begins to tick or continues to tick, the ball kind of stays in the Raiders' court here. But the Rattlers are here. Ball on the 20. Running back in the back. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Edwards fields a low snap. Has a man in his face. Throws it. And a great catch. Looks like by number 82. He's been wheeled around, slipping, and finally brought down after a gain of about 11. Edwards has been making some solid passes here of late. We'll need to see a couple more if we want to, if they're wanting to take the lead. 10.5 left in the 4th. Clock continues to tick. 1 receiver to the left. Looks like they brought in a bigger back in the backfield to join Edwards. Edwards scans the field. 3 receivers to the right. Ball snapped. Edwards looks left, rolls to the right, stops on a dime, being wielded down, looked for a place to go, had no outlet, and will be sacked. However, that's not ideal play, but that is a smart play. We saw someone try to overdo it earlier in the first quarter, and it led to an interception. You would obviously love to avoid the sack, but you live to play another down. Looks like we have a timeout on the Rattlers. The Rattlers have had quite a bit of success moving the ball through the air. With it has come some turnovers, come some sacks, but for the most part, it's really keeping them in this game, and they're going to lean on it to take the lead and come away with this win as the winner of this game has a date next weekend with the number 1 overall 7-0 Middle Tennessee Bulldogs. Up next, we have both 3 and 4 Louisville Piranhas versus 3 and 4 Tennessee Fury. The teams met earlier in the season. and the Fury came away with a 16-2 win. The Piranhas, our first-year team, have traveled all the way down from Louisville to try their hand in the Tennessee Football Alliance. Had some ups and downs this season, solid defense, questionable offense, and have mustered up 3 wins and earned a playoff berth. The Rattlers set to play, bring up, looks about 2nd and go. 3 receivers to the left, 1 receiver to the right. One running back in the backfield with Edwards. Edwards scans the field. Ball snaps. Looking for a man to the left. Rose to the right. Has a little bit of room. He's going to try to make it with his legs. Picks up some yardage. And will break a tackle. And will have a touchdown. Edwards making another play. I'd said earlier in the game we had seen him do that same exact thing when they made the trip to Louisville. He had 2 touchdowns. Looked identical to that. And he made a clutch play again. And that gives the Rattlers an 18-16 lead. Don't go away, folks. We have 9 minutes and 30 seconds of back and forth. And I have a feeling as the evening comes, we are going to see this isn't over yet. We are going to see more as the Rattlers line up to go for 2, attempt to expand this lead to 4. Three receivers to the left, 1 receiver to the right. Running back in the backfield with Edwards. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw some kind of short pass or maybe even a keeper by Edwards. Edwards looking to the pass left, throws the ball in the air, has a man, but is overthrown. Leaves a receiver looking questionable at what may have occurred. However, the Rattlers still have the lead, and it is 18-16. 9 minutes and 34 seconds left in the 4th quarter.
Marching band or music or something.
The Raiders are setting up to field this kickoff return, looking to add to their point total to take back the lead that was just taken from them by the Rattlers. It is 18-6, Rattlers lead. To try to take a quick recap, we had an early run by Kelly that gave the Raiders a 6-0 lead. It was tied up on a pass by the Rattlers. The Raiders added a safety, take an 8-6 lead, followed up by the Rattlers' pass touchdown. The Raiders had a touchdown of their own, a pass to Booker, and then the Rattlers have followed that up with another touchdown to take the 18-16 lead. And now the Rattlers are set to kick off. Raiders with 2 people back to return it. Kick us off. It's a low kick. Fielded. Will just be diving on. It looks like actually he gets up, tries to make a play, makes a man miss. Is actually doing more damage than good currently. We'll try to make the most out of it and roughly drag down about where he started. You always have to appreciate effort, but in the playoffs, the line between advancing and going home are often come down to the smallest of plays. Had that ended any worse, or had that ended in a loss or a potential fumble, you would have to question that decision. However, no harm, no foul, and we continue to play. Raiders set to take over on the 35. Rattlers getting the defense on the field. Rattlers still looking to get set up. Raiders look like they're ready to play. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, let in the backfield. Looks like we have Walker here on the far right. Ball snapped. Will be a handoff up the middle and a great run. He's pushing his own man out the way. Won't be stopped and finally drugged down after a gain of 14 or 15. Will be a first down, Raiders. A very big run by Denzel Jones, and way to keep a balanced game plan. You never know what they're going to run now. And with those 2 backs, like I've said it all game, if I was on defense, I sure wouldn't want to tackle either one of them. We come with 3 receivers to the right, Looks like we have Walker, maybe Hutchinson, Clark with Booker to the left. Let with a snap. Fakes the handoff. Throws right. Has Booker. Has a shaking man. And now it's a foot race to the end zone. Will he be hugged down? Has an angle. And that is a touchdown. It is back again. Raiders up on top. Touchdown with a great catch and run by Booker, number 8. Raiders taking a 22-18 lead.
Oh, this is good.
This is what you want to see when you are turning into TFA playoff football. And I'll be honest with you, as just a fan who has no rooting interest either way, I want the 2-point conversion here because I want this to go into overtime. For those who don't know or haven't seen many of the TFA games, even though majority of the NFL rules, the overtime is college rules where one possession, each team gets a possession until somebody outscores the other. At this rate, we could be here a while.
No, it's not going to be no overtime. Every time they score, they go.
Let with a snap under center, hands it off to Kelly. I don't know if he got it. He did get it. It is 24-18. Like I said, it needed to be to give us some overtime action. So now if we can get the Rattlers to come down and score again and make it 24-24, we are set up for some greatness. So either way, you're gonna have a great finish. 8 minutes, 34 seconds left. I cannot speak highly enough of the Tennessee football Lions and the competition they bring. So often you see leagues where one team beats another team 70-0. You have the team in the Raiders that has shown great promise on offense. You have a team in the Rattlers who struggled at the beginning of the season, has historically had some struggles. All that goes out the window. We're out here in the playoffs. It's 24-18. I think we're going to overtime. We'll see.
They don't want to play no more. We got to start calling people.
It will be a very interesting finish to see how we go. We got 2 Rattlers deep, set to return. If you can see, and if you're watching the game, you'll see the Raiders are much deeper. And as my colleague in the booth here has stated, the Rattlers are going both ways. They are gassed. They are looking for additional help on the kickoff return. Let's see how this pans out as we go, as we potentially go into overtime. The wind took that one, it looked like, and it was a poor judged recovery by the Rattlers. I don't know who has it. It will be fought out at the bottom of that pile, and the refs will let us know. That could be dangerous if the Raiders have it. Wind's picking up out there. It looks like a storm might be coming in. Hopefully it's not too bad of weather, but that could certainly have an impact on the game that we have here. Looks like the Rattlers will retain possession. Dodge that scary moment. And, well, once again, they are looking to put some more points on the board. 24-18, 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Right now we have one receiver to the left. Ball seems to be more on the right side of the field, so there's a lot of space between the line and this receiver. Kind of out there on an island. Be curious to see if we take advantage of the space that's in the middle of the field. A slant would be a good opportunity here. Raiders walk some people up to the line. Ball snapped under center. Looks like it's a handoff from the wishbone to the fullback. A solid hit, but a gain of 4. For a little information on the wishbone, it's actually what the school that I went to ran. As the receiver, there's not many of you out there. Only a 1 or 2 receiver set, but you're out there on an island. If you get the opportunity to make a play, there's not a whole lot of people that can stop you once you get that ball in your hand. So I would not be surprised as they go back to their conventional spread. If we see some short passes from someone other than the toss as we go from the wishbone formation, we just approach 8 minutes. 24-18, Raiders lead. Edwards looks to take the snap. Ball snap. Looks like one of the receivers may have started early. Has a man open. He is cutting back. Could cost him some room. Either way, it'll be a first down. That is not always the smartest of plays or even the best because, A, he's losing yardage, and B, he's running at an odd angle. Anyone who watched the Super Bowl seen one of the Patriots receivers, Knight, come to an early end by a blindsided hit. We could have easily seen the same there. However, either way, it all washes out. It'll be a first down. We approach 7.5 minutes. 2 receivers to each side. Edwards in the backfield. Edwards has the snap rolled to him, picks it up, no problem. Looking for another guy, same exact play. Still. This might come down as both defenses seem to be getting a little bit more tired to either A, who can come up with the stop, or B, who has the ball in their hand when the clock hits 0. But I myself, I'm hoping for overtime. 2 receivers to each side. Edward talking to Townsend. Townsend to the left. The line getting the update on any changes that could have been made. 2 receivers to each side. 2 high safeties for the Raiders. Look to kind of go back to that same play we've seen the last 2 times. Edwards looking to the right, rolls to the light, hesitates a little bit, throws a jump ball, just throws it away out of bounds. It's a smart play. No harm can come from over there. A little over 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 24-18 lead for the Raiders.
That was a good decision.
If you're watching the game and you want to see more great football, even after this game ends in overtime, which I'm predicting, we will see Louisville Piranhas versus the Tennessee Fury. Two receivers to each side once again. Edward waiting for the snap. Looks like it's a handoff and drops the ball by Townsend. It looks like the Raiders may have had it, may have gotten it here, and it is a Raiders ball. Looks to milk out this clock. That is the defensive turnover that you are looking for if you are the Raiders or a Raiders fan. The Rattlers, on the other hand, their backs up against the wall again. They got 6 minutes to get a stop and get a score. Raiders set to take over. 3 receivers to the right, 1 receiver to the left, 1 running back. Looks like a handoff to Jones. Jones is having a lot of success with the same run at this area. Multiple Rattlers set to take him down, and the play will be called dead before he can be brought completely to the ground. We just hit under 6 minutes. Clock still continuing to melt. 24-18 lead to the Raiders. The Raiders, if they can continue this success of running the ball, they'll be more than happy to do so, and it looks like that would help put it away. However, the Rattlers have been making some plays. As the weather starts to pick up, that might play a toe in what we see here. We just hit 5.5 minutes. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Looks like a receiver makes some kind of adjustment with his hands. It could be decoy, could be an audible. Watching the clock tick away a little bit. Often in semi-pro, there's not a play clock, so it's nice to have a quarterback with that mental clock in his head. But Led is actually brought down for a loss of about 4 on a QB keeper. I'm not sure if that was designed or if he just couldn't find a way to get rid of it. Bad news, you lose some yardage. Good news is the clock keeps on ticking, and it brings up about a 3rd and 8. Three receivers to the right for the Raiders. 3rd and 8. Walker on one side, Booker on the other. Waiting for the snap. Watching the clock continue to tick as we tick under 4.5 minutes. 3rd and 8. Big stop here for the Rattlers. Ball is snapped. Looks like it's a screen. A little high, but number 21 able to come up with it. Has nowhere to go. Slips and is brought down for about a loss of 2, maybe even 3. Brings up 4th and 11. The clock. They will continue to milk the clock here, but it looks like the Rattlers will get the ball with an opportunity to tie things up or take the lead. We hit 4 minutes. I would imagine the Raiders would punt here. It would be very interesting if they chose to go for it. 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Three and a half minutes remaining. 4th and about 12. Looks like we get a timeout by the Rattlers. Raiders, timeout Raiders. Look like the Raiders let that tilt down as much as possible. Yeah. Looks like that rain and wind is starting to pick up a little bit. That could definitely have a huge factor in this punt. You got to get the snap off. You got to get the fielding of the snap and then a strong kick. But at the same token, wind, and that's what caused a sloppy play earlier on the kickoff. Wind catches it. You mistime it as a returner. Next thing you know, you have a turnover. So it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. Rattlers have one guy back returning. Looks like they might bring a little heat, but I'm not sure. If you bring too much heat, you always want to be careful and not rough the punter. Ball snapped. Is a good snap this time. Almost blocked. Decent punt. Looks like he will try to field it, even with everyone in his face. Risky move, but he does save himself a couple yards. 3 minutes and 26 seconds left in the 4th quarter. 24-18 lead by the Raiders. Rattlers looking to tie it or take the lead. Either way, they're trying to extend their season. One team will go home after tonight's game, and one team will prepare for next week's matchup against the Middle Tennessee Bulldogs. Either way, either which team plays the Bulldogs, they're going to need to shore up some of their decisions that they've made tonight, whether it be silly passes, high passes, or too much dancing in the backfield. Either way, the Bulldogs defense would love to take advantage of that, and I'm sure Bebe Smith would love to get his hands on it, some sort of return. 2 receivers to each side. Edwards in the backfield. Raiders kind of drop back. Look like they're going to be in maybe a zone just to kind of make them milk some clock, but it's going to looks like it's a keeper. Ooh, it could have been stripped, but he's able to hold on to it. A gain of maybe 1, if any. As we approach 3 minutes. The Raiders still should have some of their timeouts, and they have a 2-minute warning, so not too big of a rush, but they still do have a Ignacio in the backfield with Edwards. Snap a little high, but he's able to reel it in. A screen pass looks like it will be incomplete. That actually might be a good thing. It stops the clock and will be about the same amount of yards either way. 2 minutes and 42 seconds. 3rd down and 11. It would be very interesting to see how the Rattlers handle this if they do not get this. There is a sense of urgency, and you may need to go for it on 4th down. However, you still have some timeouts, a 2-minute warning. If they don't get it here, I would go ahead and punt it. 2 receivers to each side. Edwards in the backfield. Edwards waiting for the snap. Ignacio next to him. Snap, reels it in with one hand, looks each way, pump fakes, making a couple guys miss. Can he get rid of it? Is pushed down by number 57, and that will bring up a 4th down and a loss of about 4. And timeout by the Clarksville Rattlers. Apologize. 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. Two minutes and 31 seconds to go. Raiders a 24-18 lead over the Rattlers. Rattlers currently in a timeout, facing a 4th and 15. I would once again be shocked if they go for it. It looks like they may, though, with 2.5 minutes to go. That using that timeout there was very telling. It meant that they were trying to go all or nothing here. 2 running backs to each side. This would be the game more than likely, barring any kind of turnover. They sent a man out in motion, 1 back in the backfield. Another timeout. That is big. When you are down and the clock is running, you do not need to use back-to-back timeouts. Rattlers coming down on 4th and 15. Once again, this potentially could be the ball game. Sends a man in motion. Looks like he'll run a wheel route off that. Edwards stepping up, trying to get everything here. It is not looking good. He may actually get it. Wow. They actually gain of about 20. That is a big-time run by Edwards. 2 minutes and 16 seconds. That might be the last play going into the 2-minute warning. 10 seconds left, 2 minutes and 9 seconds. It looks like they'll let that bleed out to the 2-minute warning. We are at the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in regulation. Raiders 24, Rattlers 18. Rattlers having a drive. Let's see if they can get things going and get a tie or win the game. Looks like we are down to a great finish, guys. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching this on you are watching this on YouTube. If you're watching on your cell phone, just kind of keep it going wherever you're going. Them texts can wait 2 more minutes. Don't need to pull that up. We're coming out the 2-minute warning. Rattlers have a 1st and 10 on about the 40-yard line. Edwards has been the key playmaker here on this final drive. Throwing to really a bevy of his receivers. Anyone can catch a pass at any time or even do the dump down to his running back, whether it be Townsend or the running back that's currently in the game. 24-18, 2 minutes left. Looks like the Raiders might bring, look like they're bringing 4. Edwards looking to the right. The screen wasn't there. Overthrows. That would have been a big one. If he could have got over that linebacker in safety, he would have been gone or at least close to it. 154, 2nd and 10. Edwards had the incomplete pass. Looked like it was intended to 82 there. I'm not 100% sure. Actually intended for 8. That is been his target early on. Three receivers to the left. 1 receiver to the right, running back in the backfield. Edwards scans the field. 2nd and 10. Minute 54 seconds left. Down 6. Ball snap a little high once again. Play action there. Rose to the right, looking for somebody. Stands there. Has a man in the middle field. Is clocked, but incomplete pass. That is a big drop. I don't even want to call it a drop. He had some help there from the tackler. Minute and 48 seconds. That would have been a first down. Brings up a 3rd and 10. You know, for those who know it, at the semi-pro level, between jobs and families, practice is hard to come by. So I'll be very interested to see how a team like the Rattlers will handle a no huddle or a hurried up offense if they are able to get the ball moving. Ball is snapped, a late play action. Edwards looking for somebody, making a man miss. A little help from his line, directing traffic, running out of time. Will make something happen. Dodges, shakes, and is finally brought down after a gain of 7. Minute and 30 seconds left. The Raiders are in no hurry to assist the quarterback up, but he's able to get back up, and they're making it to the line for a big 4th down play. Three receivers to the right, a high snap. That is going to be it more than likely. That is a devastating play. And that might just be it. Not quite sure if it was an actual turnover. However, it was on 4th down. And Raiders look like they're going to take over for the victory formation with 53 seconds left with a 24-18. Looks like they're going to escape with this. Looks like this commentator will be let down with no overtime. It was just such a great game. I hate to see it end. But we got more action after this with the Louisville Piranhas versus the Tennessee Fury. They'll take a knee currently at 40 seconds remaining in the game. It looks like maybe one more kneel down will get us out of here as the rain picks up. Should make for a very interesting next game. We are at the 30-second mark. The Nashville Raiders are set to take one more snap. They do. It did slip out of his hand, but he was able to regain it, and the clock continues to run. 20 seconds. Both teams exchange a friendly little congratulations. And the Raiders, in their first season, capture a playoff win. 10 seconds remaining, and that will do it. Both teams high-five each other, and one team will go home, and one team will meet the Middle Tennessee Bulldogs next season, or next week. I apologize. That will be it for this game 1. Join us here for the next game, Louisville Piranha versus the Tennessee Fury.